Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This is Birminology. Tonight, we're talking to 3 Ohio State offensive line commitments in the class of 2026. We got Tucker Smith, Sam Greer, and Maxwell Riley all joining us, and we're going to be talking to those guys right now. Max Riley, Sam Greer, Tucker Smith joining us now. Gentlemen, it has been a wild 2 weeks for all of you. I don't know that any of you went into your respective day of committing and thought you were going to commit that day, and yet here we are. All 3 of you now committed to Ohio State, a new offensive line coach, Tyler Bowen. We'll start with Max because he was the first about 2 weeks ago. What happened, Max? Like you know, we were talking, and you say, "Hey, man, I'm gonna take these extra visits," and then all of a sudden it's here's a Hayes Fawcett tweet, and I've committed.
Okay, man. Just building my relationship with Coach Bowen. I've gotten to spend a lot of time with him, whether it be Zoom calls, FaceTime, just texting with him and Coach Day, and I just felt great about being a Buckeye.
Sam, for you, it was similar. We had talked as you visited Ohio State for the first day of spring practice on March 17th. You had a couple of visits right before that. You had a couple of visits lined up after it. I think we actually spoke last Friday, talking about the NCAA tournament, and you said, "Hey, I'm not gonna organize anything." And then you left you always put in the little thing, but you never know. And then you showed up for practice on Tuesday. Shock Tyler Bowen. He didn't even know you were coming to practice, right?
Yeah, no one knew I was coming except that.
What was that like for you? That had to be really awesome.
Yeah, so that wasn't planned at all. I was just planning on, I committed over the phone, and then I was like, I wish I would have done it in person, and then they kind of planned that whole little surprise. So we got the whole family down and just had a good day.
Oh, for you, and I'll get to Tucker in 1 second here, but for you, Sam, what prompted the change of heart to say, "Hey, I'm ready to make this decision"?
Really, it was just like I've always wanted to be a Buckeye, so. Once we got everything figured out, I was kind of just like, I can't keep doing all these visits, so it was getting kind of, too much. So I was like, let me just put this all away and commit to OSU.
Tucker, you're obviously a little bit alien in this conversation. You've got 2 kids here from Ohio that have grown up rooting for Ohio State, watching Ohio State for the last 2+ years. Everybody in the recruiting media, every fan, everyone, Max and Sam are going to end up at Ohio State. They're going to, and then you visited Ohio State last week for the first time.
Yes, sir.
You made the trip across the country without an offer from Ohio State. You get offered the day that you're there, and 5 days later you're committed. What was it about Ohio State that was right for you to make that decision when you're in a different position than these 2, because these 2 have been through a lot of recruiting in the last 2 years, and you're just kind of getting started.
Keep going.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'd like to ramble. It's just who I am.
Okay, so what was right for me, when I got there, it felt like home. It was an awesome place for me when I got there. I was expecting completely to be like, oh my gosh, it's Ohio State, and it happened. But it wasn't just that. When I got there, it felt like I was home for the first time in a while, because I've been around everywhere, and going up to Ohio, it felt like correct for me just to be there, meeting all the coaches, going on campus, seeing all the people. It just felt right when I got there. And we have a lake house 4 hours away in upstate New York, and I'm kind of used to the area. I have a bunch of family members that live in Ohio. I have one of my aunts, or technically my mom's cousin. We just call her an aunt. She has an apartment in Columbus, Ohio, and she doesn't even live there. And it just felt like a place I could be and I should be. It just felt like a home for me.
And now there's a lake house in upstate New York for Sam and Max to go visit.
Exactly.
How much conversation had you 3 had? I know Max and Sam, I know you guys were obviously, you train with Dale Roddick together. You do a lot of stuff together. You know each other well. How quickly after Tucker's visit and offer was a conversation started with him, or is this the first time you've met, or how does this work? Any one of you want to talk? Go ahead.
10 minutes ago we made a group chat. So.
Yeah, we made a group chat 10 minutes ago. Max sent me his number on Instagram, and then we texted And then I was like, let's make a group chat with all the commits. And I made the group chat and we all just said, are we going on the podcast for like in like 30 minutes? And we all said, yeah. So and that's basically,
shoot. So I
that's
thought I was
basically it.
surprising you guys. Man,
Mhm.
I thought I was going to pull a surprise. I guess I can't see. That's good though. The communication happening early is important. Max, for you, your path to Ohio State, obviously it was Ohio State Clemson that came down at the end. You had a very good relationship with Justin Fry. Sam, I know you had a great relationship with Coach Fry as well. How much concern was there when Coach Fry decided to leave for the NFL? And for two kids that are from Ohio who grew up thinking, hey, if I could be a Buckeye one day, I will be. How much doubt did that really put into your minds? And what made Tyler Bowen the right guy to calm those nerves?
State being Ohio State. You see throughout the years, like it's the highest winning percentage since like post World War II. And, even before Coach Bowen was hired, I was like, whoever Coach State hires, he's going to be great at his job. And then getting to meet Coach Bowen and stuff. I love him. He's a great guy. I think he's going to be a great coach.
Sam, for you, how did Tyler Bowen and the change in the coaching staff, how much did it upset the natural order of things or the way things were going? Because you and I talked back in November, and you said that you might be close to shutting things down, and then it seemed like you wanted to give more time. But what made Tyler Bowen and that connection right for you?
Yeah, so I was very disappointed here, Fry left and all that. But like Max said, I know that, Ryan Day is going to pick the best coaches, in the nation to coach his team. So I had trust in him, and then got up there, met all the coaches, great people, tons of years of experience. And Tyler Bowen being the offense coordinator for so many years, he's got a great mind for the game.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. All three of you guys I've spoken to throughout this process, Max, a little bit less with you after because you had committed before the first day of spring practice. But for Sam and for Tucker, the idea that Ohio State now has essentially 3 full-time offensive line coaches with Charlie Dickey and Marcus Johnson joining Tyler Bowen, how did that change the way you perceived Tyler Bowen as an offensive line? Because he's young. Like, let's call a spade a spade. He's 35. He hasn't coached the offensive line prior to this season in 7 years, despite the fact that he played there and that sort of stuff. Did that calm any nerves as well? Either one of you, Tucker or Sam, whichever one you wants to speak on it first.
You got it.
It didn't calm any nerves at all. I mean, Charlie Dickey is one of the guys that like recruited me first to Oklahoma State. Then their season happened, and every single coaching style on the coaching staff got fired. So he went there. I 100% like think that Dickey is going to do a great job there with like under Tyler Bowen, and I don't think there's any issue with the 3 offensive line coaches. It's going to be like perfect no matter what, even if there was just one of them there.
What about you, Sam? Did that impact things?
Yeah, so I thought it was real cool. I went there for practice. They had 3 different stations going, each coach coaching a station. So, I mean, they're working in unison, and everybody's getting coached up.
Yeah, I'm curious for Max and Sam, both of you guys. Again, I mentioned you trained with Dale Roddick in Northeast Ohio, very well-respected offensive line trainer. He's worked with Luke Montgomery, with Deontay and Devontae Armstrong. You guys have had an insight into the program from those guys and through Coach Roddick in the last couple of years that not a lot of kids get. When you get a chance, Max, to talk to Luke Montgomery in person and see what his actual feedback is about Ohio State, has it matched up with everything that you'd heard in the recruiting process?
Even just from like Deion and Devontae and Jake Cook and Carter Lowe, I mean, they all love it there. I think we're all excited to be Buckeyes, man. It's going to be great.
Sam, how important was it for you to hear from those guys directly and know that what you hear in recruiting isn't just fluff?
Yeah, so it's definitely nice to have some guys, in the program, be able to talk to and stuff like that. So I really, I got a teammate there, Eli Lee. He just got there. So, I mean, his parents are always letting us know how Eli's doing and how great everything is.
With the offensive line class now 3 guys deep, I've heard rumblings that maybe the goal in this class could be between 5 and 7 offensive linemen. Have you guys, now that you have a 12-minute-old group chat, have you started to figure out who the next guys are and how comfortable? Max, I know from talking to you over the last 2 years, you're kind of a homebody. You like to stay low key. Sam, you're the same way. Tucker, we're just getting to know you a little bit, but how easy is it to put on the hat and be a recruiter as opposed to being a recruit?
It's not that hard.
You want to play with the best, so you got to recruit the best. And I think one way to do that is just to build relationships with the guys. I mean, social media is one thing, but I think just getting comfortable with the guys you're going to be with for the next 3 to 4 years is huge.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So who's on the list? Who? So now there's the commit group chat, which is now 7 guys deep. And then there's going to be the offensive line group chat that you guys create. Who is the first guy that you're adding to it?
If that would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, who's your guy?
Nah, me and Max just talked about Champ yesterday. Yeah.
Champ Smith is one. Obviously, Felix Ojo is another one out there. Jackson Cantwell in Missouri, a guy that I think, Sam, you've probably gotten to know. I'll let you guys wrap up here on this. Sam, I think the plan for you is clearly at tackle, right? I mean, that's where you're going to be. Max and Tucker, you guys are both interior guys.
Yes, sir.
How do you make each other better from here? How do you guys as a group help grow each other's game and each other to the point where come December and signing period, you're ready to be the best Buckeyes you can be?
So yeah, me and Max, we live pretty close, so we're gonna work on getting to Dale and doing some dual work and stuff like that. But yeah.
I would say just keep it in touch right now, and then until we hit the field, we just start like competing and see what happens from there.
Max, what about you? Because I know you're the guy everyone always talks to. Max Riley's the polished one. He's the one that's more college ready. But people say a lot of things. But how do you take that, and how do you continue to push these guys?
And so, as long as we just keep competing, even like maybe in season we'll have like a pancake count, see who gets the most pancakes or something like that. Just compete to get better.
I know for Max and for Sam, you guys, your closets probably have a ton of Ohio State gear in them from just growing up in the state. Tucker, did you see anything Ohio State gear-wise that you were like, man, I got to get that from the coaches?
We actually went to the bookstore, or like a team shop, and we actually bought an Ohio State flag and 2 shirts for myself before all the commitment stuff.
So you're saying you knew last week when you were on campus you were committing?
Yeah, I knew. Like when I got the offer, I'm looking around, I'm like, this is it. This is the place. Like when I knew.
So the first time that Max and Sam go to your lake house in upstate New York, what's on for dinner? What is the go-to dinner?
For dinner, because it's a lake house, we're going out for about 5 hours and we're gonna catch a muskie and we're gonna eat that.
All right. I think that sounds like a challenge. Tucker, the people that I've talked to about you throughout this day as your commitment happened, the things I've heard about you are showed up in boots. He's a wrestler. He's tough as nails. Like, I don't think a lot of people at this point in the Ohio State ecosphere know a lot about you, but I'm hoping that this opportunity to come on the show will give people a sense of who you are. And for Max and Sam, now people get to leave you alone. How happy are you about that? It's I don't hear you. I don't know if you're on mute or what, but it's fine. I know how happy you are about it. See, you're so happy about it. You don't even want to say it out loud.
Yeah.
All right, guys, look, I apologize for keeping you a few minutes longer than I wanted, but I know that you guys all have things to do in your life, I guess, like teenagers do. So enjoy it. Thanks for taking some time to come on the show. I appreciate it very much.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Thanks for taking the time. Congratulations on all of your commitments, and we will talk to you guys again soon.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks, guys. So Ohio State has 3 commitments now in the class of 2026 on the offensive line, and the Buckeyes are looking to add some more. We will find out exactly where those guys come from in the next few months. But if we learned anything from talking to Sam Greer and Max Riley and Tucker Smith, it's that they already have a list and that they're going to be working on behalf of the Buckeyes. And that's really all you can ask for if you're an Ohio State fan. So thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate you stopping by for this episode of Birminology. We'll talk to you next time.